Hey guys, Dennis here. Hope you're doing well. I want to do a quick video on the SuperBumper Magnum. I've had this on my car for about a week and a half now. The reason I did research, the reason why I went with this one, the reason why I went with a bumper protector at all was because I've actually been rear-ended twice in this vehicle in about 9 months. The last one was about, as of this making of this video, about 3 months ago. Same road and about a mile away from each other. So I decided, you know what, enough is enough. I need to be able to protect the back of my car. I don't like the idea of being able to get hit whenever, not being able to protect the back of my vehicle no matter how good of a driver I am, and it costing, inconvenience and frustration and annoyance, and having to drive a rental until the car is fixed. So this is the SuperBumper Magnum. Now this particular bumper protector I got for several reasons. If you do any research, you're going to find different ones that also go into the back of a hitch. But the problems with those is they're typically like all metal or all rubber, and if they get hit, they're going to bend or break. And the main thing is they don't absorb any shock or impact, which is what you would want out of a bumper protector as well. Not just something that's pure steel that's going to take the impact, but also that's going to lessen, attenuate the impact so that there's less damage on your vehicle or no damage on your vehicle at all. So I want to get into some of the specifics. Now this is the Magnum version. There's a SuperBumper XL, SuperBumper Shield XL, which is the same proportion roughly. It's 3/8 inch thick, it's 6 inches high, and this one is 20 inches wide, where the Shield XL is 16 inches wide. At first, when I was looking at it, I was thinking it was going to be too big. When I was doing research before I purchased anything, I thought it might look a little crazy. Now, the reason I went with this one is just simply because it was 4 inches wider. I wanted a little bit more coverage to protect the back of the vehicle. Now, you can see that I have it here attached to a hitch that I bought. Now the other difference between the Magnum and the XL Shield, XL Shield, remember, is a smaller one, is that the XL Shield version goes into a 1 1/4 inch hitch receiver, where this one goes into a 2-inch hitch receiver. So you can see there's a bit of an extension here, right? And this is the way that I had to do it and kind of decided to do it. You can probably see in the video that I actually added an adapter here. So there's actually 2 adapters, and this one right here at the top is a 2-inch adapter, a 2-inch receiver, where I can put this little guy in here, and it essentially gives me 4 inches rise, because every hitch is usually at the bottom or the lower part of your vehicle, and I didn't want this to be so low to the point where it wasn't actually protecting the area that I needed to protect. So I decided to do more research. I had to do look up a bunch of stuff to see what was the best way to kind of get that together without it being too expensive or this coming out too much and that sort of thing. And you might not be able to see it, and I'll show you a little bit more detail here, close up of how I have it set up and some of the features about or of the bumper protector. But there's actually 2 solid rubber pieces behind this that actually absorb the impact if someone was to hit you, which is what I wanted. To me, that makes all the sense in the world. You want something that's going to lessen the impact in the case that you do get hit. You're safer, which is the most important piece, but then you also lessen the chances of any damage to your vehicle, right? And if they do hit you hard and it still manages to impact your actual bumper cover, it should be a minor damage. If you do have to get it repaired out of pocket or through insurance, it'll be a lot more quicker to do. Where I actually didn't have my vehicle for 2.5 months. I was driving a rental when I got hit three months ago. I was actually part of a 4-car accident, and the guy rear-ended me and another guy. But I didn't have my vehicle for 2.5 months. I spent about 3 weeks in the shop before they actually started working on it. But with that being said, it was a high-end shop that I went to, and they did everything very meticulously. They had to bring it back to BMW and make sure that everything was set. They cut out a bunch of stuff and re-welded everything. But let's go ahead and switch up to a closer view so you can see how I have things set up, and we can keep touching points on some of the features and benefits of this little guy right here. So as you can see here, as I was mentioning before, you can see that there's actual a rubber cylindrical part right here, and there's two of them. There's one right behind here that you can't see because of this guy, but essentially that compresses if someone was to hit you or rear end you from the back. So that's really good. So it lessens the impact, and again, it protects your vehicle and the passengers. You can see here what I was talking about as well. I have the adapter, the 2-inch adapter here. There's a 2-inch receiver adapter that raises this entire component much higher by 4 inches, so that I can protect the area that really matters, where the bumper cover is and the bumper, actual bumper, the metal bumper is. And you can see here that I actually have three different pins, or hitch pins, and these are all locking. So if it's something that you do look into, I would recommend that all the ones that you get are locking, so that no one steals your actual bumper protector. And what I essentially had to do is, of course, to get this into a hitch, you need to have the hitch installed. So I actually had to remove the lights on the rear lights and the entire bumper cover, as well as the actual metal bumper, the impact bar, and then get the hitch installed, and then put everything back together. So it took me about an hour and a half to do with the right tools. And then essentially here at the end, you'll have the 1 1/4 inch, which is typically what you're gonna have for a sedan, a hitch for a sedan. I do wanna mention a couple things though. These hitches, or all hitches I should say, have what's called a tongue weight, a gross tongue weight. So this is the tongue right here, this portion where it opens up at the end of the hitch, where you would typically add in anything that you want, a bike rack or anything like that. Now this one on this hitch, and probably most sedans, are going to be very similar. It has a 300-pound tongue weight, meaning it can hold 300 pounds of weight essentially suspended in the air. Now, one thing to mention is the further out that you have this, the less tongue weight it's going to hold, because you're applying leverage. So if you have this much further out and you have more weight on it, this is actually going to hold less. And this right here is an actual adapter too. So this is this portion right here also extends inside of the hitch. It's about 11 inches long, this entire piece right here. And this is the 1 1/4 inch to 2-inch receiver hitch adapter. And you needed this in order to basically install this guy right here, the one that's this size, the 20 inches. And I decided to do that, and that's why I had to get a couple adapters, because I could have gone with the Shield XL, which fits into the 1 1/4 inch, but again, it was going to be pretty much 4 inches, I guess not as long, a little shorter, a little less wide, and it was just going to be too low for me, so I decided to go this route. And I'll put all the links in the description to basically all of these pieces. And you can see here that I actually added the Anti-Rattle piece right here, and that was necessary because even though everything was pretty much solid, when you're driving, you have those bumps in the road and stuff, it will rattle. So I had to install this, and this made all the difference right here. But I highly recommend this product. Again, there was tons of other ones that you know, they didn't actually look as good, or they didn't have any feature where they were going to absorb any impact. You can tell that if someone was to hit it, it was going to break and snap, and that sort of thing. So to me, this met my standards, and I'm pretty particular about what I buy as far as like looks and pricing and functionality and build quality. So this thing is solid. It's as solid as you think it would need to be and how it should come. So from that perspective, I'm happy with that. And I mean, I highly recommend this particular product. Luckily, I haven't been hit yet, and I don't particularly think I'm going to get hit again. And one of the benefits to having something like this is you drive with more peace of mind. After I got my car back, I was very anxious, and I would constantly look in my rearview mirror because people would like to tailgate, or they'll like to drive really closely to you, or pull up really close at a stop sign or a red light or something like that. And this, people are going to see because it stands out, and most people don't have this, and then they're going to know, okay, well, if I hit this car in front of me, I'm going to get all messed up. So this is a way for you to protect yourself, to get some peace of mind and security, to protect your vehicle. In the case that you decide to buy a vehicle and sell it in the future, this is going to ensure that you protect your asset or your vehicle, because if you do get hit, then you have that accident on record, and then now you lowered your resale value of your vehicle. I don't particularly mind because I plan on keeping this car, but in the case of most people, they plan to sell the vehicle or their vehicle eventually, and it's better to not have an accident on record. So again, this gives you all the peace of mind that you need. People will stay away from you if you're, if they're parking next to you or behind you or something like that. It basically ensures that you have that space between vehicles, and this is great for like cities where parking is limited and people like to get really close and trap you in, or they like to, they'll hit the back of your bumper or your front bumper trying to park, like cities like New York and stuff like that. And they'll have different, some cars will have like the rubber mat that extends out of the trunk, and the trunk lid closes over it, and it kind of hangs out here. But something like this would do way better at protecting your bumper. So I recommend this very highly. Again, I have a peace of mind when I'm driving now, and I don't worry about those guys that like to tailgate on highways or try to get too close when I'm at a stoplight, just because I know if I do get impacted, this is going to absorb everything, and I'll be all right. So I do recommend this. I'll put the links again into the description, so you can see where to get this guy and the adapters and all the hitch adapters and the locking pins, as well as the anti-rattle hitch. And just so that you know, the hitch that I actually got is from Kurt, and that cost me about 120 bucks on Amazon. For everything here that you see, it cost me about 450 bucks to get this installed the way that it is. But to me, it's worth it because I've already got rear-ended twice, and I just needed to say, you know what, enough is enough. I need to protect, the back of my car, and I recommend it because it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. If you're at a stop sign or a red light, or someone's tailgating you, that's not your fault, and they're going to do damage to your car. Now you have to deal with a police report, insurance, and finding a place to get your car fixed, and then waiting for a rental and all that stuff. So it's just highly inconvenient, and it sucks overall. So again, I highly recommend this product. I'll put the links into the description, and then let me know if you have any questions or any comments, and we will go from there. I'll try to help you guys out, but hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.